Ladies and gentlemen, winners and warriors, have you ever wondered what sets smart people apart? Not just in intelligence, but in achievement, in influence, in legacy. Let me tell you something powerful. Smart people don't just think, they do certain things, consistently, intentionally, and with purpose. They understand a simple truth. Success is never an accident. It is engineered, brick by the habits we build and the principles we follow. Today, I want to share with you 6 timeless actions that smart people live by. These are not theories, these are tools. And if you use them, your life will never be the same. Smart people decide. While others hesitate, debate, or wait for the perfect moment, smart people understand that clarity comes through commitment, not contemplation. They know that the longer they linger in indecision, the more opportunity slips away. They don't wait for the stars to align. They create their own alignment by choosing, acting, and adjusting along the way. Indecision is a silent destroyer. It delays progress, saps energy, and invites confusion. Smart people refuse to live in that space. They would rather make a bold choice and pivot later than remain frozen, fearing the unknown. Because they understand something the masses overlook. The act of deciding is itself a form of power. It separates the passive from the purposeful. They also realize that no decision guarantees perfect outcomes. But they're not seeking perfection. They're seeking momentum. A ship that stays docked never crashes, but it also never reaches its destination. Smart people launch. They pick a direction and commit to it with discipline and drive, knowing they can steer the course once they're moving. This is not about recklessness. It's about refusing to be ruled by doubt. Smart people gather the facts, listen to their gut, and then pull the trigger. They trust their judgment. And when they do make mistakes, they don't drown in regret. They learn, they adapt, and they grow faster than the ones still stuck at the crossroads. Every day is a fork in the road. The smart don't overthink it. They choose a path and start walking. While others wait for certainty, they create it through action. In the end, the greatest cost isn't making the wrong decision. It's never making one at all. Smart people know that. That's why they lead. That's why they win. Smart people think in terms of purpose. They don't live on autopilot, reacting to whatever the day throws at them. Instead, they live with intent. Every action, every goal, every relationship is filtered through a single, powerful question. Does this align with my purpose? This clarity gives them direction while others drift aimlessly, pulled in 100 directions by distractions disguised as opportunities. Purpose is more than just a goal. It's a compass. Smart people understand that success without purpose is the fastest road to burnout. They don't chase money for the sake of money, fame for the sake of attention, or busyness for the sake of feeling important. They seek meaning. They connect their ambition to something deeper than surface-level rewards. This connection gives them the fuel to persist when others quit. When setbacks come, and they always do, purpose becomes the anchor that keeps them steady. They also know that purpose isn't something you find like a lost set of keys. It's something you define and refine. It's built, one choice at a time. Smart people ask the hard questions. What do I want to contribute? Who do I want to become? What legacy am I building? These aren't just philosophical musings. They are daily drivers that shape behavior, decisions, and outcomes. Because of this, smart people don't waste energy on distractions. They say no often and unapologetically. They don't do things just because everyone else is doing them. They aren't impressed by trends. They're moved by impact. Purpose simplifies their life, it creates focus, and with focus their efforts become sharper, more effective, more powerful. While most people are busy being busy, smart people are busy fulfilling their mission. That's why their lives are not just successful, they're significant. Smart people guard their minds with the same intensity a warrior guards a fortress. They understand that everything begins in the mind. Every belief, every emotion, every action. So they treat their thoughts with care. They don't allow just anything to take root in their mental soil, because they know that what grows there determines the quality of their life. They are deliberate about what they consume. They don't binge on negativity, gossip, or chaos. Instead, they feed their minds with books that elevate, conversations that inspire, and information that empowers. They know that the media, the people they associate with, and the ideas they allow in their space all shape their mindset. So they choose wisely. They seek environments that challenge them to think bigger, not shrink smaller. Smart people also understand the power of repetition. They know that what you hear over and over becomes what you believe. That's why they surround themselves with affirmations, with truth, with vision. They don't let limiting beliefs hang around unchecked. When doubt whispers, they talk back with clarity and conviction. They replace fear with faith, confusion with certainty, distraction with discipline. This mental discipline isn't accidental. It's cultivated. Just like the body needs daily exercise, the mind needs daily renewal. Smart people treat personal growth as a priority, not a luxury. They journal, reflect, meditate, and learn. They protect their inner world so that the storms of the outer world don't shake their foundation. In a noisy, chaotic world, this discipline is rare, but it is the foundation of power, because once your mind is right, your life follows. Smart people don't let the world program them by default. They program themselves by design. That's how they rise, not just in knowledge, but in clarity, confidence, and unstoppable purpose. Smart people act in faith, not in fear. They understand that fear is a liar. It exaggerates, distorts, and paralyzes. Fear will always tell you you're not ready, not good enough, not qualified. But smart people refuse to let fear sit in the driver's seat. They feel the fear, acknowledge it, and move forward anyway, because they know that the only way to truly silence fear is through action. The faith, on the other hand, is not blind optimism. It is a decision to believe in possibility even when the path is unclear. It is trusting your inner voice when the outside world is filled with noise. Smart people act from a place of inner belief, not because they have guarantees, but because they have vision. They know that faith doesn't eliminate uncertainty. It transforms it into fuel. Most people wait. They wait for more information, more signs, more confidence. But smart people know that waiting too long is its own form of failure. They take the first step even when the 10th is hidden. They move not because they are fearless, but because they are faithful to the vision within them. Every achievement begins with a moment of courage, and that moment often comes dressed in discomfort. Smart people lean into that discomfort. They don't let fear dictate the size of their dreams. They know that growth never happens in the comfort zone. It happens in motion, in uncertainty, and risk. Faith is a choice, and smart people make that choice daily. They don't ask, what if it goes wrong? They ask, what if it goes right? That one shift in perspective gives them the power to leap, to build, to lead. Fear creates excuses. Faith creates results. That's the difference. That's what makes them unstoppable. Smart people master self-discipline because they understand that talent alone is never enough. Passion fades, motivation comes and goes, but discipline, daily, deliberate, often invisible, is what turns potential into power. It's the quiet force behind every great achievement. While others wait to feel like it, smart people show up anyway. They don't rely on moods, they rely on habits. They know that discipline is freedom. It's what allows them to control their time instead of being controlled by it. They wake up early not because it's trendy, but because they've aligned their routines with their goals. They train their minds and bodies like professionals, even when no one is watching. They say no to distractions, even when temptations are loud. They understand that success is not a single event. It's a rhythm of consistent effort. Smart people have learned that you don't have to enjoy every task, you just have to value the result. They detach from temporary feelings and stay committed to long-term vision. Whether it's studying, building, creating, or training, they've trained themselves to do what needs to be done regardless of how they feel in the moment. And when they slip up, as all humans do, they don't spiral. They don't give up. They reset quickly, because discipline is not perfection, it's persistence. It's getting back on track faster than others stay off it. Discipline also builds confidence. With every promise kept to themselves, they trust their own word more, and that self-trust, it's priceless. It becomes the foundation for leadership, for courage, for execution under pressure. In a world obsessed with quick wins, smart people play the long game. They understand that real power is earned in private through repeated acts of discipline. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. Smart people build powerful alliances because they understand one simple truth. No one succeeds alone. Behind every remarkable achievement is a network of people, mentors, peers, collaborators, who elevate the vision, strengthen the mission, and accelerate the journey. Smart people are intentional about who they spend time with. They don't just socialize, they strategize their relationships. They seek out individuals who challenge them, inspire them, and push them to grow. They know that if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So they step into spaces where the energy is higher, the thinking is sharper, and the ambition is contagious. They align with people who are driven by purpose, not just popularity. Smart people also understand the value of collaboration over competition. They're not threatened by others' success, they celebrate it, because they know that rising tides lift all ships. They don't hoard knowledge or guard ideas out of fear. They share, they contribute, and in doing so, they create connections that multiply their impact. They also choose their inner circle with extreme care. They protect their energy. They don't allow toxic, negative, or small-minded people to stay close. They understand that your environment shapes your mindset, and your mindset shapes your results. So they surround themselves with believers, builders, visionaries, and doers. Relationships to smart people are not accidental. They are assets. They invest time into them, they nurture them, and they bring value wherever they go, because they know that opportunities often come not from resumes or credentials, but from conversations, trust, and alignment. In the end, success is a team sport. And smart people don't just play well with others. They recruit the best, uplift them, and rise together. That's how empires are built, not in isolation, but in powerful unity.